What's up, everybody? I am Clan Diesel, and this is Three Old Men Yelling at Cloud. Joining me tonight are the two co-hostesses with the mostesses, Dr. Diz DM and Double Up Buck. How's everybody doing tonight?
About the same.
Hair to
Back
Midland.
hurts. Feel like it's gonna rain. You know.
I mean, my knee ain't hurting at the moment, so it ain't raining yet.
Thank you, Buck, for coming in with that sub. Really
Dude, you
appreciate it.
Fancy little things up there.
I got fancy things. I got all sorts of fancy things.
It popped up on the screen.
You just
hadn't seen that before.
It's magical. Like I said, though, this is Three Old Men Yelling at Cloud, and I qualify as being an old man because of this. Right here, this shining gray hair in my mustache, which is glowing like an angel in a Christmas story tonight. So that qualifies as me being old. So nobody needs any input from the peanut gallery. All right.
Let's see, I sub and nothing happens.
I don't even see where you subbed. It doesn't even show up that you subbed.
See?
I'm sorry. The system is against you, Diz. It's over. It's over. All right, gentlemen. What are we going to talk about tonight other than our aches and pains and these kids with their newfangled contraptions?
Well, I thought we might talk about MMOs
in the mail
and survival games and things like that where it involves a lot of people logging into one instance or server and affecting each other, or
a shared world.
They're just happen to be there. Yeah. So a shared world type, which are I think mostly just MMOs and survival. I don't know. Are there other types that I'm missing?
Yeah, because it's three old men yelling. My wife's mind is blown, everybody. I apologize.
Oh,
especially for those listening to the audio version.
It's just in Sweden.
It's just for all of our fans in Sweden.
Or is it Norway?
No, it was Sweden.
What?
We're also pretty good in Brazil.
Brazil.
Of course, I like to call it Brazil.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, MMOs and survival games are the only ones off the top of my head that I can think of are like that. I mean, there are multiplayer games, but not a lot of them where you're in a shared world where you can affect that world or another player's experience.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have first-person shooters stuff, Call of Duty. You go in and you can play against other players and you're with other players. But once that match is over, the world resets and it's totally new now. There's nothing. You're not affecting change on that world or on another player's experience beyond just killing them. With games like Ark or Green Hell or Final Fantasy 14, WoW, EverQuest, stuff like that. If I log in, I can affect change on that server, or I can affect how you experience that game. Especially with survival games. I say more so even survival games than MMOs.
Like the stream thing.
Did it pop? Nice. Streamlets.
Yeah, it covered me up on screen. I just want to put it out there that.
Sorry, Buck. I never know when it's going to happen. It just goes off.
All right. Well, so starting it off, some people kind of consider. I've read that some people kind of consider like Neverwinter, not the one that is an MMO right now, right?
So you're talking classic.
It's Neverwinter Nights.
Yeah.
They're they consider that to be the first MMO.
No,
Now,
I would say
technically,
no, not at
you
all.
kind of host your own server and people join you.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like Ark in that way and stuff, but it's
Well,
definitely not a survival game. It's definitely not that.
but you can make Ark into a full blown server with hundreds of people on it.
Mhm.
That's true. And I would say the first real MMO would probably be Ultima Online.
A lot of people consider that one the actual, but I have read that
Yeah,
some people consider that Neverwinter Nights, which I like Neverwinter Nights, but I don't technically agree with it exactly.
yeah. I mean, I would agree that it's probably full fee. It's probably right on the cusp of between being a purely single player game and something like an MMO. But I would think it would
Yeah.
be more like
It's definitely a multiplayer game,
I would
but
think Neverwinter Nights would be a lot like uh Diablo on BattleNet.
kind of, yeah. You
You
consider
know,
Diablo
you're
an MMO. If you don't, then you don't really consider this
right.
one.
I mean, it's a multiplayer game. You know, if you and your friends connect on BattleNet, you guys can play together in the same world, kind of like you do with Neverwinter. Um, but I wouldn't think that I have no thoughts in my mind of Neverwinter Nights being in an MMO.
So chat has their opinion, and they're saying that I gotta lean in here because we're old. Let's read it.
Hi,
What's that
Reek and
say?
Hi Sly. Reekin
Actually,
says
Club Penguin.
actually Club Penguin,
Oh,
and he's
actually.
definitely wrong. Yep, he's definitely wrong.
I mean, at the
I
same
love you,
time,
Reekin,
though,
but it's wrong.
were they even able to get to the table to play an MMO when the first MMO came out?
I don't even know if either of them were born when the first MMO came out. To be honest with you, I'm just going to be. I mean, they've only been able to have Twitch accounts probably for like 2 or 3 years.
All right, all right, all right. So next question: what was your first MMO that you
Oh
played?
wow. Okay, just so everybody knows, Ultima Online launched September 24th, 1997.
The
Just so
way back.
everybody is aware. Yes, way back. Uh, I'll let you guys go first because I've been doing a lot of talking.
EverQuest was the first one I ever played.
Yep, that's mine too. EverQuest.
So I didn't like EverQuest. I remember my cousin, who was a lot younger than me, playing EverQuest on dial-up. Okay.
That's what I played
That's
on.
what I did. Yeah,
Yeah,
I first
exactly.
played
Yeah.
EverQuest on dial-up. Yep.
So I didn't have a PC until 1998. So I didn't get into like online gaming until probably about 2001, 2002 ish, in that range. So my first MMO was called Shadowbane, and um, I don't think a lot of people know what that is. So they know EverQuest.
Yeah, I know. EverQuest was the big one. You know,
Yeah.
everybody remembers like the login screen with the Sanding Wood Elves line and the distinctive level up, bong, dinging. That came
Hmm.
from EverQuest. You didn't level up, you dinged. And then of course, the da 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 da, startup music. And trying to think of other things that came from EverQuest. Evercrack. That's what Evercrack came from because people were spending their entire life on EverQuest because
Yes.
like I said, other than Ultima Online, EverQuest was the first. EverQuest was the first big mainstream MMO to make it, right? Um, and I had a teacher uh, in college that was teaching me my IT classes. He was a Cisco
Hmm.
teacher, my Microsoft teacher, and he's the one that introduced me to EverQuest. He was like, I think there's a game and I think you'd like it. If you want to play it, me and my wife will show you. Him and his wife both played it over dial up. We think that you would like it. It seems like a game that you would like. So he brought me his discs and I installed it.
Okay.
Paid my $15.
I thought that story was going to go a completely different route. I thought you were going to get invited over to their house, and
that came later.
Yeah.
But that was my EverQuest.
They taught him more than just the game.
Exactly. You know that Garth Brooks song? But
Which
you know,
one? There's
and
about 3 that can go into this one.
That's true. Pick your poison, and we'll fill in the story from there. It's a choose your own adventure, let's say.
Yeah, I know the thunder rolls, right? That's the one.
I mean, I was gonna go with Shameless.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Oh, let's see. But that was my first one. That's the one I got into, and I'll admit it right now in front of everybody. And if you guys have known me for any bit of time, you've probably sussed this out. I am an MMO whore. Like, I don't know what it is about them, but they draw me in, and even if the game sucks, I will try it out. I'll at least give it a try usually. Like, I have played EverQuest, EverQuest 2, EverQuest Online Adventures, Final Fantasy 11, Final Fantasy 14. I've played WoW since Alpha. I've played Dark Age of Camelot. I never played your game, Diz.
Shadowbang.
I played Terra.
It had an expansion.
Yeah, I mean, I've played a bunch. I love them. I don't know why, but I love them.
You don't know the name Shadowbang, but you do know the people that produced it. They're a little company called Ubisoft. And the people that actually made it, just a couple of nerds in their garage, Wolfpack. I don't know if you recognize that name, but if you have any kids and they play, what is it called, Wizards 101 or whatever.
I've heard of that, yes.
After Shadowbang, got out of their hands because they got into the industry, and Ubisoft was probably pushing them to, to make the game better and release patches or release expansions and stuff. After they got done with that, and the corporate side corrupting their vision, they went and formed this other company and started doing Wizard 101 and just love it, apparently, making tons of money. NFT for Ubisoft.
Yeah. Also, as stated in chat, Destiny is not an MMO.
Ooh, that is controversial. What
listen, Destiny wants to be an MMO so bad it can't stand it.
What do you think?
It is
MMO or not?
I think that they've probably got about 4 more years to catch up to becoming an MMO.
I think when they can do a whole open world environment, and there's like hundreds, instead of just having to jump between the little hub things, when it's just kind of Skyrim, like it's a Skyrim map with just Destiny players on it.
I mean, they could even have the other worlds.
Yeah, I'm fine with the other worlds.
Of course, your own ship to those worlds.
There you go.
And land and disembark your ship, and then I would consider that more of an MMO.
I think. What's up, Timmy? How's it going? Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Especially the beautiful comment. That's very nice. Like I said, in my opinion, my humble opinion, Destiny wants to be an MMO so bad it can't stand it. Like, that is their ultimate goal. The goal is to be like an MMO. And I think, honestly, if you gave Destiny a $15 a month or a $10 a month subscription, that game would be in such a much better place than it is right now. Now, they did just get purchased by Sony. So Sony, it was probably going to shove some money their way, which they need. And Sony's pretty good at getting out of the way of their developers, letting them do whatever that they want to do. But I think if they could count on that money coming in every month, you would get a lot of more content, because that's Destiny's biggest problem, at least my biggest problem with Destiny. And you guys feel free to chime in, chat, feel free to chime in on your opinions, because we've all played it. Destiny has too little content, too much repetitive grind. And I think that's my biggest problem with Destiny. Everybody chime in if you want to.
That would probably be my biggest gripe about it as well. My second one would be they have too many currencies in the game. No, here's my main one. Here's my main one. When they release a new expansion, everything before that seems to just kind of fall away. And that they did that in Destiny 1. And in Destiny 2, I don't know why they're doing this, but they're just bringing back old stuff. And anytime you have to lean on nostalgia, something's not working.
You also have to give it to them. They're kind of leading on a WoW Blizzard motif too, because I'm telling you, you know how Blizzard has, if there's a problem or a drop in the subscription base, they break the emergency case, they bring out Illidan. So guaranteed, calling it right now, next expansion, Illidan will be back.
I already know Illidan's coming back.
So I think.
Wait, I wasn't supposed to say that. My bad.
Oh, NDA. We're getting sued. But I think Bungie's also set themselves up with Cade. I think that if things go bad, I think they'll reach it back and go, hey, what if we were able to bring back Cade?
I mean, I can't see why that would be wrong. Yeah, I mean that seems like a good business ideal.
I do too, because everybody, I mean, that's the one thing everybody knows is that Cade was an awesome character and now he's dead. Now it was good for story. I think it needed to be done story wise. You know, somebody had to die and nobody cared about anybody but Cade. Cade and Nathan Fillion playing Cade was everybody's favorite.
Yeah.
Bar none.
And I don't feel like they ever replaced him. They needed that type of personality in the game.
They did. They brought in Crow. They're like, oh look, spoilers. The bad guy is now the good guy, but it's not the same. And I know stories have to change in order to keep going and everything. But I'm just saying they have a base in their pocket. If things get bad, they can try doing that.
But what about Matthew McConaughey? I mean, the Traveler.
You mean the Drifter?
The Drifter, the Traveler.
The Traveler is what that gives you your powers, Diz. You never hear the Traveler really talk ever.
Remember, we're old. We can't remember names.
Yeah.
The Drifter. All right. Okay. Well, I mean, so I guess we're all kind of in agreement that it's not really an MMO yet, but it may get there. I wish they would quit releasing I wish they would stick to the like a WoW kind of concept and not release Destiny 2, Destiny 3, and just stay with Destiny and just keep improving the game. Because I mean, WoW retail now is definitely not classic. It's two different games completely, but they at least kept the continuity with the name across. So, but I feel like
by the way,
they had to because they had to have the money from the sales of the disc. Right. Or the content, you know.
Well, I mean, they came out and said that one of the seasons or one of the stories or something was paid for just from Eververse sales. So I mean, people are buying things out of the shop. They're making money on that, and that's great. But I'm with you. Give me like a new big expansion every year to 2 years that it takes me longer than a week to beat.
That would help. Definitely.
Yeah, and like you said, don't make my accomplishments from the past season or whatever useless in the new season, because
Mm.
then all you do is you just wait to the season you want to hop in on, play that, and go, and you're good to go. And now I know there's a max slot level and all this stuff, but I mean it just sucks that everything you've done beforehand is invalidated. You've only
Exactly.
got 9 weeks to be current and useful. And then after that, the starting gear you get at the new spot is better than what you got. Now, now caveat here, I understand that's how it works in expansions for MMOs, but can testify 100%. A lot of times your great gear that you got at the end of this expansion is worse than the green gear that you're going to get in the new expansion that comes out.
Well, but they have to do it that way, right?
Right,
Because
exactly.
what they're bringing out is harder. Monsters hit harder. They have more health. They've got more armor. You have to be able to be on par with them the moment you step out there. And if you aren't, and you're just like, oh well, this gear I got in the last expansion's fine, then you're gonna get wrecked.
Yep.
And that's why they give you the first, 5 or 6 missions. You're like, oh, we're going to give you a weapon, and we're going to give you, choices on at least 2 or 3 pieces of armor to kind of put you on speed with everything that you're about to fight. Because if they don't, you just get wrecked, and then everybody quit playing.
See, my problem is, I find things like armor and weapons that I like the look of, I like the feel of, I like how the gun shoots and stuff like that. And then they release new content, and then my armor and everything becomes useless. Now, they may have fixed that in Destiny. I haven't played it in a little while, where you can maybe transmog stuff or something like that.
But they have
Yeah.
come out quite a bit of transmog or the ability to ornament your gear to look like something else.
Right. And I do know in the Witch Queen, they're bringing in uh, crafting. So you can craft new weapons and stuff. And I think that changes the gear creep and stuff like that. Jack can confirm or deny what I'm saying because I'm complete bullshit right now because I haven't played Destiny in like a year. Um, so feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought that was the big thing that they were going for was that now you can craft weapons. So if you want to craft an older weapon, you can, and it'll be good for that new time and whatever. So it gets rid of part of the problem. But or we talk, oh yeah, survival games and MMOs.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So the last point about Destiny is I feel like it really kind of dropped off the ledge when I couldn't get the Hopscotch Pilgrim in Destiny 2. I mean, that's pretty much it. That's where I stand.
I mean, shit game.
Well, see, my thing about this whole topic is trying to get you two to actually get your butt on a survival game and actually stick with the survival game long enough to know if you're going to like it or not.
Yeah, let's
Because
talk
I
about survival
literally have
games.
pulled y'all into 2 separate survival games that y'all have made it in one round with me, one night's worth, and then you never show back up again, except for Valheim, which they dropped the ball on.
That's true.
That's true. Now, Valheim was very good. The problem with Valheim is that you ran out of content.
Hmm.
I mean, we got to the end of Valheim, and we didn't even finish the final boss. I mean, me and
Yeah.
Diz got on
There's no
and
point.
got all the components together, and then I was like, just so you know, Diz, if we kill this guy, we get a placeholder
Yeah,
item
it's
that
game
we
over.
can't even use because they ain't even released what goes with it.
Right.
And then they announced that if you've been to these areas, if you've done this stuff, and they release the expansion, then you need to recreate your world before that stuff actually becomes populated and active. So
I don't know, Rican, but
They said Friday is free to play.
yeah, Friday, yeah, tomorrow starts it, but I don't know what time it actually goes live for uh free to play. But if you guys will talk, I will try to find out.
But like, I've tried to get y'all in art.
Mhm.
I know Clan's reasoning for playing, which is BS, but I know his reasoning for not playing. I mean, I don't really know your
It's,
reasoning, Diz, for not playing
it's
Ark with me.
not BS.
Oh, it's BS.
So with Ark, right? I played it with my son a little bit, and then we would get in there, and it became the digital version of parenting because I had to build the house, I had to make all the clothes, I had to make sure the dinosaur wasn't eating him, stuff like that. Which was fun. It was kind of fun. It was a different. I've never actually played a game and it was like that. But when we started playing, your skill level was like tenfold mine, right? And I did get a little bit of the clan stuff too, where I didn't want to touch your stuff because I felt like it was so good. I was like, I don't want to mess it up. So I did try to go build on my own, and I don't know, there was something about the building that was throwing me, and I didn't enjoy it as much as like I enjoy building in like Minecraft. Minecraft is very geometric and straight. Arc, on the other hand, is um, you build it on the side of a hill, and it's hard to get everything lined up, just right. It takes some time to build up the skill, and I guess I probably didn't get enough time to get my skill level up where I could actually enjoy it. So
Well,
that's
see,
about all I can
that's
explain there.
it's funny that you say that building is your issue because you enjoyed Valheim, and I promise you, Valheim's building skill level is way harder than Ark's because you
Yeah,
actually have to know how to structurally build in that game.
That is true. Yep.
I did
If
enjoy
you
that part of Valheim
if
though.
you don't put the structural integrity in the building, then that roof's coming down.
Hmm.
In art, it'll just be like, hey, you didn't make sure this was structurally sound. You can't place this. Valheim, you can place it, but just know that if you didn't fix it,
It
you're gonna
starts
watch
taking
it fall in
damage.
your face.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Now,
So
for
to
me,
go
go ahead,
ahead, go ahead,
Chris.
Glenn. Go ahead, Glenn. You ain't got to talk.
Uh,
You've been looking for dates and
I've
talking stuff.
been
So
nothing but talking, so you feel free to talk over. My thing with like 7 Days to Die and Arc, I like I enjoy the games just fine. My problem is one, like you said, I feel like if I'm joining someone's world, it's like I'm intruding on their space, kind of. And I know Buck says I can go and do whatever I want to or whatever. I know that, but I feel like if I'm not on there all the time or something, I'm not contributing or whatever. Like I told you the other night, Bucky, I know it's mostly in my head. I know that, but it's like, well, I'm on. Should I be going and doing this, or should I go chop some wood and bring it to Buck, or should I go get some stone, or what do? I have no idea how to tame a freaking T-Rex, so I'm not going to do that because I'll become hamburger. I'm not good at attacking from the animals and shit and stuff. So it's like after a point, it's like, well, I become virtually useless, kind of like I am in real life. And I don't need a real life simulator.
But see,
Okay. I
yeah,
play games to be better than myself, not to be myself.
but see, y'all make the comment and the running joke of when I log into a survival game, I'm sitting here at freaking level 65 or
I saw it
max
done, bro.
or max level as soon as I log into a new realm.
Saw it done. You made an ARC server and we logged in. I was level 1. You were level 65, right? Just at the beginning with freaking full tech gear and a Robotobot Tyrannosaur. Had the freaking Dragon Zord from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers as his pet.
I think you're exaggerating, but realistically, I was on the shore. I spawned in a different location, and him and Sly came and got me, and he was level 35, and I was level 2 or something, 4.
Buck can log in at level 1, take 3 steps, chop down a tree, and he's level 65.
I did enjoy the
See,
leveling process in Ark. I think one of the main problems I have with it is the combat. it doesn't feel as smooth. And I'm an FPS person, right? So I got on and played like a couple of games of Halo earlier, and it had a slight glitch, and I was like, I can't play right now. It was just throwing me off so bad.
Listen, we've come to this is my theory. Me and Buck have discussed this. This is my theory of what's wrong with Diz. The FPSs have ruined this man.
For sure.
He can't handle anything. Like if you could make Ark in the Halo engine, he would take it probably. But
I mean,
anything
me
outside of
VR.
Halo, he can't handle. I'm surprised he can do D&D
I mean, to be
at
completely
this
honest,
point.
I could get him an automatic rifle in
That
Ark,
would hit.
and then
I mean,
he can just run
I'll
around and
hum
go
the
shoot
Halo
stuff.
theme.
But for example, like y'all make that joke, but you think that I've booted up Ark back in alpha, and I just automatically had all that? No, I had to work my ass off and learn it all.
Yeah,
So,
I believe it. Having played other games with you, I know that's true.
but once I find a game I enjoy and I put myself into that game, I learn every aspect I possibly can. And I have no problem training, for example, other people to be able to do the same thing I do. But you have to be willing to actually want to learn, because I'm not just going to waste my time on anybody to just come in and be like, all right, I'm going to show you how to do this if you really want to. If you're just here to, screw around and play and just, not care about learning the game, that's fine too. But don't be upset with me when I power level through and you're like behind me going, I can't build half the crap that you can.
And honestly, with that, I'm fine with that. I've come to expect it. I'm fine with that, and I'll be honest with you. I like being able to go through the different tech trees and unlocking stuff as I go. That's one of the things. RimWorld is a survival game that I play a lot, but it's not multiplayer. It's just single player, and you're kind of managing things. You're not really playing the world. The AI guys kind of do it for you, but that's one of the things I like is you research tech, you do different things, and you can build different things as you go and you learn, and that satisfies something in me. I don't know what it is, but the same way with Ark. You build your thatch hut, and then you upgrade. After a while, you learn how to build with stone. You upgrade it with stone. That I love that. That's fine. I don't care if you're building the Death Star and I'm in a thatch roof cottage. It's I built this thatch roof cottage, and this makes me happy.
I do too. Like when I play Minecraft, I play in survival mode because if I play in the creative mode, I can sit there and just build, all the stuff and make it look right. But it's somehow like therapeutic to actually have to go out there and mine the stone and then, form it into bricks and then place it down and build like a little structure, a castle, whatever.
Yep.
It always ends up being a castle. It's always a good.
I mean, Clint, I've even tried to get talk Diz into playing modded Minecraft with me, to where he has objectives and challenges he has to try to meet just to be able to build stuff. And Diz
Now,
ain't
see,
took me up on that offer yet.
I've never played Minecraft. Well, I'll take that. I played it one time with Diz.
You did.
And I had no idea what I was doing. And I'm like, there's nothing here to. I have a problem with games that don't give me goals.
Yeah, there's no goal.
Oh,
modded
has goals.
I'm a very task oriented person. If you give me a task, I will accomplish that task. 100%. Just ask Diz at work. If you give me a task, I will bore into that task like a bulldog.
But you ask him what he wants for lunch.
It's too open ended. It does not compute. Now, the mod in Minecraft, I would do that. I would be up for that, Buck. 100%.
You have to play the Java edition because you can't really mod the Windows edition one. You can reskin it, but you can't mod. That's their modding. It just changes the skins of things so they look different. But the Java edition, I've messed around with that some, and it's pretty cool. Like you can completely change the whole game. So
I mean, like what Chad just said there, Clan. I can make a billboard in art and write on there what I need you to do, and you can go to that board and check mark it off
That's
as
fine.
you
I
go
can
down
do
that
that.
list.
I can do that. That's not a problem. You just go in there and say, build you a house, do this, give me 1,000 wood, whatever. Yes, sir.
I know
Go
in
do it.
Ark there are objectives, right? Like there are bosses and stuff like that you have to
Yeah, I
beat.
mean, there's actually a whole storyline in Ark. There's lore, there's backstory. Every uh, core map, not the new or not the maps that they added to give more content, but every core map has its own bosses that you have to beat that tell a story about why you're here, leading all the way up to Genesis 2.
Yeah. And I think I have everything but Genesis on Steam. So, I mean, I can do modded art 100%. I just don't like, I wish there were, like you said, I wish there was a mod for Ark like there was, like you were talking about, but for Minecraft that I could log in. It's like, okay, you want to do the story? You need to do these things so we can continue the story. And be like,
Also,
okay, definitely, I can do that.
Ark technically is it still in beta?
Ark is officially, I should say, officially done. There's one more thing that they want to add before Ark 2 comes out. So
That's the one with Vin Diesel.
Ark has hit full game mode right before, right as Genesis came out. Because Genesis 2 was the last thing they wanted to launch, with a few exceptions of some extra maps before Ark 2 comes out with Vin Diesel playing an NPC in the game.
Yeah.
Because there's no NPCs right now.
Right, there's just you and the other player that's on your server.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I've never seen an NPC anywhere in Ark.
And then I know there's like an overlord, right? That's the main bad guy that you're trying to get to, is the overlord of the Ark or whatever.
The thing is so in the first island map, you've got your brood mother, which is the giant spider. You have your Megapithecus, which is a huge gorilla. Then you have the dragon. Those unlock tech gear and help you better yourself for the fight with the overseer that they added into the volcano. Then you leave that one and you go to Scorched Earth. And you start fighting through a desert biome where you've got to go kill a manticore to try to get through that area. Then you shift to the next zone, and the more you're shifting, the more advanced you're becoming. If you take that one character and move him every time through the realms, to where once you get to Genesis 2, you should be max level. You should have every Ingram unlocked. Now you don't have the points to learn all of them. That's why it's best to have 3 or 4 people with you to complete it.
Right.
But you'll have every Ingram available in the entire game unlocked by the time you get to Genesis 2. And you'll be able to literally just go get the items you need in 2 to be able to finish off the bosses and go on about your business. Now, if you move your character, if you start fresh every time, then you get no tech gear. You have to start at level 1 and level up as high as you can get to unlock what you can, but your access to tech gear is only available if you kill the bosses on that map. If you transfer them from the beginning, then you have the tech gear carrying over with you every time.
So I think what I like, or would really like in Ark is, even though I do like construction stuff, I really think that I would like it if I had a gun, because I like to explore in these games. I do, but I found that when I explore an Ark, I usually get ate by something. And I feel like if I had a gun maybe in the game, that I could probably shoot these raptors that keep, because I can't throw that little bolo thing. I miss them, like I can't do it. And then I was trying to shoot the arrow, and I can't hit the arrow,
Now
so
I
I
could throw the bolos. I was good at that. I could do the bolos.
can't really do it that well. Uh, I don't know,
So, Chad, I
but
just heard his hand-eye coordination is off, Mister First-Person Shooter.
I do pretty good in the PvP on Destiny, Halo, but throwing a bolo at a raptor,
I mean,
maybe I
mean,
freak out. I'm probably in
that's
freak out mode.
that's the PvP, sort of. I mean, they are the
Ooh.
opposition.
Player
PvP,
versus Predator.
Can
Right?
I be a raptor? Can I be one of the raptors?
Is there a
They
mod
did-
where you can
they
be
did
raptor?
they did make a mod where you can be dinos, and you start out as a baby in a nest, and the more you kill, you evolve, and you can opt
Nice.
to change into eventually a Giga, be the biggest
Nice.
land dino meat
I
eater
thought
on the.
maybe it
continent.
would be like the Mario Brothers movie, and at the end you would evolve into King Koopa.
I mean,
It was Dennis Hopper.
maybe.
Now, I did want to touch on one survival game that some people in chat, I think they played and they really liked. It's kind of the half brother to Ark, half brother once removed, second cousin.
I think I know where this is going.
Dark and Light is what it's called. Made by the same company. It was never finished. You can buy it, but it never was it never will be finished. I'm pretty sure they've abandoned. But it has one element in it that I think at least me and Clan really love, and that is the Grim Reaper that just roams around the map, kills everything in its.
It throws you off, yes, because here's the thing: when you start that game, like I started that game, started in a town, you're going around and you take 3 steps outside the town, and here comes the Grim Reaper, and it's legit the Grim Reaper. After you, so you run to the guards, right? You run to the guards like you do in every MMO. Like, I'm gonna run to the guards will protect me. This thing kills the guards. And then looks at me and then walks off, which I was thankful for. But here's the thing: not even the guards were safe. This one time it trapped us in a house. It was trying to break down the door to get in to us. It knew we were in there and it wanted us real bad. Yeah, like I enjoyed that game. It was like Ark, but instead of like, a dinosaur setting, it was fantasy magic.
Yeah, magic and sword and
Setting.
shield type stuff. Yeah.
But it was the same thing. You had trees and you unlocked different abilities and building materials and stuff as you went through. Um, it was like I said, it was
was
Ark with
Ark.
a different
That's
game
what it
engine
was. Yeah.
and a different setting. But other than that, it was Ark.
Well, see, that's like, they brought out Atlas,
Yeah.
and they tried to make that a more time frame of like pirates, and it bombed after a while because, I mean, breeding, prime example. If you were to get 2 bears and you wanted to breed them so that you could get better stats for the bears to fight with you, you had to take those 2 bears all the way back where you found them for them to breed, for the baby to be born and raised, and then go back to where your base was. And you had to do this for every type of animal. And that became a hassle and a half. Because if I have to load them up on a boat, drive the boat to wherever, drop them off, breed them, wait all this time, and then finally bring them back, what's the point of breeding them? There's way too much stuff going on.
Yeah.
Now, there are stuff in Ark like that, where if I want to breed, before they brought out like the air conditioners, if you wanted to breed certain dinos, they had to be in extreme cold to hatch. Some of them had to be in extreme heat to hatch. And before they brought out the air conditioners, you had to go there and build a base, or at least a secure building to hatch the egg, because your temperature wasn't going to meet up right to incubate the egg. Which I thought that part was fine because you didn't have to raise them there. You just had to get the egg to hatch and then bring them home.
Mm-hmm.
And that was fine because that made sense. Because you weren't gonna be, some animals only can breed in certain climates or hatch egg wise because of their incubation. And I thought, okay, that's fine. But to have to load up the parents to have them made in that zone to get the egg and then have to bring them all the way back home just wouldn't have made much sense.
Yeah. No, I agree with that 100%.
But Diz liking Minecraft so much, Diz, you should be playing PixArt then.
Well, I played PixArt, but it's like it was not as clean as Minecraft. And Minecraft is not known for its graphics, but PixArt
Right.
was just a little more clunky. It felt like, and the graphics weren't as good. I didn't put a lot of time into it. It did have a lot. I think it might have even had objectives in there and stuff. I can't remember, but
There was certain
so
little
that was kind of
items you
cool.
see on the ground, little like pylons that you could
Yeah,
talk to and interact with.
it had some interesting things. It's just I wish the gameplay felt a little bit better. Is where I was at.
I mean, there
Otherwise,
was
I would have
things
been
in
playing it.
PixArt
Yeah.
that I'd have loved to have had in art. For example, in PixArt, you can make a gun rack. That gun rack, you put your gun in, it displays the actual gun you put in it on the wall.
You can do that in art.
On art, if I make something that can store a gun, it does nothing but store the gun. You don't even see the gun. Now on modded, they changed that. I can do certain or get a certain mod that when I put in a gun storage, the gun doors open, the sides pop out, and you can see the weapons and the grenades and the crossbows, all that stuff encased in this gun safe, pretty much.
Mhm.
But you have to get a mod to do that, and I'm like, y'all did it on PixArt. Why can't you do it in regular art?
Who knows?
So,
We will
Well,
never know.
that's true. The world may never know.
I feel like they
but
would implement that at some point. But
well, now they're worried about art too, so they're not worried about trying to get that set up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But on that same note, I'm still going to try to get Baldur's Gate built in Arc, and that is a task and a half.
don't take a minute.
That's true. That
And
is true.
I would ask for assistance, but two things will come of that. You won't be surprised if you assist.
Yeah.
That's
because you'll
true.
get to see the building going up.
That is true.
And the other is with what I have picture wise versus the resources and all that. If y'all logged in, you'd be like, Buck, what do you need? I'd be like, well, I need to build this house. And then you'd be like, okay. And then you'd be like, well, what do I go look at to try to build parts to put on that house? Because of all the different mods. So it'd be a little more confusing to just throw anybody into the mix of that while I'm in the process of trying to build that.
To be honest, I can't wait to see it when it's done, because I know for a fact Buck is quite the builder. So I know that it'll be very nice to look at and a wonderment.
Just know, be prepared for lag inside the town.
The server will scream.
Well, it's not really that. It's your field of view.
Yeah.
And your chunk loading. If when that whole town is fully built, you'll be like, I can see it from a distance, and then you get there, and then everything's going to bog down initially because it's got to render everything in first.
I mean, I know about chunk loading because having to lug myself around all day,
I understand.
chunk loading gets
I
hard.
got that
It's
going on
rough.
too.
All right.
Yes, I am.
So,
I'm the inspiration for the Chungus from Anthem.
Hmm.
so what
Understand.
makes a good MMO? What makes a good survival game to you guys? Like, what is the draw? Why are you playing Ark instead of DayZ or Conan Exiles or
Why 7 days versus DayZ?
why
For example?
7 days? Yeah, yeah.
Well, to me, I don't really care about an overall arcing objective. And by that I mean like Minecraft has it. If I do modded, I can, have a whole list of, hey, you need to do this to get to this, and I enjoy that aspect, but I
Mhm.
don't want it all the time. I don't want the game to dictate exactly what I can do. So in Arc, in 7 days, when I logged in, game goes, okay, at the very beginning of 7 days, you get a list of learn how to build a bedroll, learn how to build a bow, learn how to build an axe, learn how to build your first square and a campfire, first like building square and a campfire. After that, and they go, oh, by the way, here's where your trader is. And then after that, they sever ties. At that point, you are on your own. You do anything and everything in that world you want to. You build up what you want to. You take over what you want to. As far as if you want to go to the police station and turn that into your base, you can do it. There's no reins or restrictions. And I enjoy that aspect of it because I like to be creative and do what I want in a game. Ark's the same way. Now, MMO, I go for it for the story. The story matters at that point.
All right, Clan. What draws you besides everything about Final Fantasy 14?
Well, like with Final Fantasy 14 is like Buck said, with an MMO, it's a story. I like the story of Final Fantasy 14. It's a very good story. But same with WoW. I've been playing Warcraft since Warcraft 1 on the PC. So I know the story. I followed it for 30 years. Same with, and that's probably part of the problem with Final Fantasy is that I've been playing the game since the first one on the NES. I know when they're bringing in characters from the original games and stuff, or systems from the original games, I'm like, oh wait, I know that. I know this one. So, but with any game, like the thing that draws me to a game is story. I'm looking at it going, well, I like this story first. Is this something that I want to sink my time in? Because as if you follow me at all, you know I do not have a lot of time to put into games. I wish that I did because I love them. They're my favorite way of spending my free time or unwinding. Uh, but I just don't get to a lot. But the story is my big thing. Am I going to like the story? Number two is like I said, tasks. With RPGs, it's easy because you get quests, right? You're like, okay, and you did this, now go here. Or at least they'll give you a clue. Hey, you've done this. We need to figure out about this other thing. The last time anybody knew anything about that was at this location. Go there and see if anything still exists. My problem, like I said, with like Arc and stuff like that is, or even open world games in general. I have probably like the concept of them is awesome to me, and I love the idea. Like the first little bit of Arc, I'm fine with. You know why? Because I know what I got to do. I got to survive. I know I got to build a house. I got to be a way to get food. I got to make a way to get water. I need a weapon to protect myself. And that was the cool part about 7 days when I first logged in with you and Harley Buck was like it literally says a thing. Okay, you need to do this now. Okay, you did that. You need to do this now. Okay, that's cool. You need to do this now. It's when they take the training wheels off is where I have a problem because then it's like, okay, why am I doing this? With Ark, it's you want to be able to eventually leave the Ark. With 7 days, that you got to survive the zombie apocalypse, you got to prepare for the horde. Now, I've not played DayZ or any of this other stuff, so I don't know. It may be similar. DayZ may be 7 days with just a different graphics. I don't know. But that's the part where it leaves me, is that I don't know what to do next. I'm going to sit here and build and build and build and build and gather and gather and gather, but why? For what purpose? What do I do? If I sat down and I've played enough, I can kind of make a plan for myself. Like, okay, well, I've got this now, so I need to do this. Other than that, it's like, okay, I know I need to do things in order to get down the tech tree more, and then that's it. It's just I'm doing things to get down that tech tree. But like as far as playing them, I like it. I've got 250 hours in RimWorld. But like I said, it's just me by myself trying to make these little guys survive or whatever, and doing stuff. So I get it, and I get the thing, and like I said, I love going through the text, getting new skills, leveling up and stuff, being able to do new things, take on new challenges and stuff. Problem is after so long, it's like I don't know what to do now. And then I get bored because I have no task. And then I leave.
Sly said he'll be your taskmaster.
Well, that's fine. Like I said, if I had somebody saying, "Hey, do this, do this, do this," I may be able to hang on longer than I normally do. But like, I just I don't know what I do, and then I just shut down.
Minecraft.
Maybe I think that would be a good thing to try. I would give it a shot, 100%.
For survival games, I'm okay with open ended because I enjoy Minecraft. Right, when Minecraft just drops you in there. It doesn't tell you anything, and you start punching a tree, and you start building stuff. So I'm okay with that. Even with Ark, like when I was just playing single player game, I build a hut, I advance, I upgrade it to. I think you upgrade it to stone or wood next or something, right? Maybe wood
to stone,
wood to stone. So I was doing that part of it and making weapons and stuff like that. Completely fine. I get into a group type of setting, and um, it would be better if we had like roles, like, hey, you're gonna go collect stone and tame dinosaurs, and you're gonna go do this. Of course, it's trivial because Buck knows how to do it all, and he can do it all himself. But he makes us feel important if
way
he does
better
it
than we can.
He just gives us a task and we do it. That would probably work. That would probably work. Now
Yeah.
on MMOs and on survival games, one of my biggest elements that I really like is how the game feels to me, and and maybe FPS games have done this to me. Like the feel of the game, the way it plays, the mechanics of it, the way you swing a sword, the way you shoot an arrow. Um, if I feel like there's lag, in it, or um, like kills me in Ocarina of Time because it's an older game and it's kind of clunky when you're aiming the arrow. And I really wish it was nice and smooth. I could just shoot those bats, but
Yeah.
that really is a driving force for me. I can get past that. I do, even though you guys think I just like to skip the cutscenes and everything else. I really don't like to skip the cutscenes. I really don't. I really enjoy the storyline of stuff.
You don't
Personally,
know the story at all in 14, Chad.
Dude, I don't think that we don't think you don't appreciate the story. I think it's we know firsthand that you skip the cutscenes because we've heard you say, "Well, I'm skipping that."
I do.
I've literally been in chat with him playing 14 and him going, "Damn, it won't let me skip this cutscene. Why can't I skip this cutscene?"
I was playing catch up in that game. You guys were so far ahead. I had to skip them just to save time, so because I don't have a lot of
Oh
time to
my
game
goodness! You got your boots on, Clank. It just got
Yep.
deep.
Yeah.
It just got
Yeah.
deep.
I do enjoy storyline though. I've even went in Destiny and read on the internet for storyline because that's the only way you can get a storyline in Destiny is going and reading the lore. And I think they eventually put it in the game where you can read it in the game.
Yeah, there's like a
But
lore library or something now in your inventory.
but feel like the look of it doesn't really. I know some people really like 4K beautiful image. That's not as important to me because I grew up in the 8 16-bit world
Give me a
where
good 16-bit RPG
you
any
had to
day.
imagine what you're seeing.
Yeah.
Of course, later when they're doing these remakes of the games, the characters look, I don't know, very feminine. Like even the guys are like, it's like not what I was picturing. I guess long ago, but and they start calling them by different names like Cecil, and
Yeah, if you say Cecil, you're out.
but
Banned in chat.
but yeah, those things are important. The feel of the game, and I do like a good storyline. I like to have a task, kind of like Clan, except for I like to have an in game task. Like here's what I'm working toward. I can get there any way I want to, and I think that's why I like Elder Scrolls is because I know there's a path to where I need to get to somewhere, but I can go there any way I want to. So
So in classic WoW though, Clan, you have an issue where you don't end up. Well, he disappeared on us, Diz. Guess I'll
he
have to
did,
bring that up
he
to him
did,
in a minute.
he did had to go take care of something.
It's fine.
You brought up
I'll wait till
classic
he's
well
back.
though. I did have something on that, and I can repeat it when Clan gets back. But um, the nostalgia of bringing that out, I immediately wanted to play it. Right? Do you think nostalgia, because it is an instant, dopamine response for most people. Like you throw an old character into a game or tie it into some old storyline or just re-release an old game and you get that nostalgia immediately. Do you think that's a good thing, bad thing, or just somewhere in the middle?
Well, I think that it's a point seller because they know that if you've invested your time into a game and you've been with them sticking through it, holding your own since the beginning, that if they sling that back out at any point in time, you're going to be like, yes, I'm going to go check that out because I lived that. I was there when it happened. And so you're automatically wanting to go see if they changed anything from what it would have or what it was when you played it the first time.
Okay.
And in classic, some things have changed. They weren't what it was in 2004 when it launched. Now, the area is the same, 90% of the quests are the same, but they changed certain aspects of the game. They made it friendlier for the newer generation to play. And that was leads to what I was going to say to Clan about Classic on him saying that him getting lost on something to do quest wise in Classic. How long did it take you to find Mandrick's wife, Clan?
Yeah. That
So
is
Clan,
true.
to catch you up, we were talking about nostalgia, like them throwing characters in the game that characters from other games or just old characters, just throwing them into storyline or events that might have happened, including those in, tying them into what you're currently doing, or just re-releasing an old game. Is that
Yeah.
is that a good thing or a bad thing or maybe a little bit of both?
No, I think it's okay. It depends on what it is, right? Say like let's go. We all started out as console gamers, right? That's just
Mhm.
there's games on consoles that it's very hard to play now. because they're just not available. You can't. Finding that hardware in the game is difficult or prohibitively expensive, right? So I'm all for re-releasing older games on new stuff to give young people that nowadays, if you were born in 2000, you're 22, you're gonna be 22 years old this year, but you didn't get to play Final Fantasy 7 or Final Fantasy 5 or 6 or the original Legend of Zelda or a bunch of other games that came out before you were born that we all love. Chrono Trigger, for instance. Everybody should play Chrono Trigger at least once, at least try to. Probably, in my opinion, the best game ever made.
Mhm.
Just a miracle the game was made and turned out as good as it was. It's getting difficult to play Chrono Trigger. Um, Chrono Cross, the sequel, is difficult to play Chrono Cross. It only came out on the PS1. How many people still have a PS1?
I do.
Yeah, like we do, but for instance, in chat, Sly doesn't have a PS1. Regan doesn't have a PS1.
Timmy
There's
probably
no
doesn't have a PS1.
there's no way to do it. So I'm fine with releasing games like that.
Are you okay with them dolling them up? Giving them a remaster, or even just like in Final Fantasy IV, remaking the game with 3D like sprites and giving them voice acting
Voice
and
acting.
changing the name into Cecil?
I'm not okay with the Cecil name change. I am not. I like the way that some people handle it, where they give you a choice. You can switch between the graphics. So if you want to play it with like PS1 style graphics, you can, because you have your nostalgia glasses on. Or if you want to play with the prettier graphics, you can. I'm fine with that. A lot of people simply would not play a game with PS1 or Nintendo 64 style graphics because they're shit. They look awful. Look at the original Final Fantasy VII. Game is uglier than great game, uglier than sin, even compared to Final Fantasy VIII, which came out a year later. Uglier than
And then
sin.
9 a year after that. Like they upped them
Exactly.
graphics
Yeah.
tremendously.
From
Yeah,
97
mine
to
looks so good
99,
compared to those two.
they don't even look like they're on the same machine.
Right.
Cloud has like 7 polygons in his entire body.
And
Yeah.
Barrett's arm gun is nothing but a blank block.
Exactly. And then you get to Final Fantasy 9 and Zidane has like the entire
He's got a
Cloud's
tail,
entire polygon count
double bladed
is in his
weapons and
tail.
all kinds of crap.
Right. There's more polygons in his tail than there were in Cloud's entire body. So that's a turnoff for a lot of people. It's a turnoff. I played the games and it's like, sometimes I'm like, damn, was it this ugly back then?
Well, to
And it
us
was,
back then,
but
back then it wasn't that ugly because
exactly.
comparatively to what came before it, it was better.
Exactly.
Until the next stage came out, like 8, making 7 look like crap, and then 9, making it look like crap, and then 10, everybody goes, why can't all the Final Fantasy games look like this? Because we didn't have that technology before 10 came out.
But then I also look at games like, 4, 5, and 6, or Sweet Oaken, the original PS1 and stuff that were in the sprite style graphics. Those games age well because that art style just ages well, better than the 3D games.
Yeah. You still get the pixel art today, so.
If you just hand me that game, just stick it in a ROM reader, download the entire ROM, copy and paste it, put it on there. Just give me that. I'm fine with that. I'll play Final Fantasy 6 as with the Super Nintendo graphics right now all day. Be fine with it. Same way with like Sweet Code and stuff. I'm on PS1. I'm fine with that.
That's a good
Not
idea.
a problem.
Next episode, we probably just need to go through a list of games that you need to play before you die.
That is.
And death is always on our mind because we are old men.
That's right. It's a coming.
It is the next. It is your next quest.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll put Redneck Rampage on there. And if
But
y'all
you
don't
know,
know what that
also
is,
now,
you should look it up.
Google it up right now. Yeah. But you know, also you have games like Octopath Traveler and this
Yeah.
Triangle Strategy that's getting ready to come out, and the Lava Live that's finally getting released in North America this summer. You know, those and Dragon Quest 3 that's getting re-released, you know, later on. That have this, it's like a 3D looking world, but with the 16-bit sprites, or you know, 32-bit sprites like on PS1. And I'm fine with that. You know what? Give me 16-bit RPGs, bring them back, but in that 2.5D look that they're able to do now. Like that is amazing that a game can look that pretty. And here's the thing: that game you'll be able to resell in 40 years. Because same with the 16-bit, 32-bit RPGs that wasn't 3D, because that art style carries over. You remember, like with a prime example, Zelda Wind Waker. Remember the controversy with that? We were shown at E3, is either E3 or Space World, the 3D mock-up of Zelda, of you know, Link fighting the enemy there and that thing, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, 3D Zelda will be beautiful. Look at the graphics; it's going to be beautiful." What was the next Zelda we got? We got Wind Waker, which was cell shaded, but at the time, cell shading was very popular. But what happened over time? Guess what? Wind Waker has aged a billion times better and is easier to pick up and play now than Ocarina of Time, which a lot of people say is a better Zelda game. But
Graphics are abysmal.
the
There's no
the
decoration.
graphics
There's
are
no
horrible.
decorations on the wall. Like
The
you walk into
controls,
a room and it's just blank walls. It's almost like they couldn't put decorations because it would just the console couldn't handle it.
console couldn't handle it, right? But like you throw in Wind Waker, whether you play it on the GameCube or on the Wii U, it's a beautiful game either way. It's just which way is it easier for you to play on.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have skewed a bit from like MMO and survival games, but still, we feel passionate about these games, so it's understandable. We're kind of coming up to a close here, so guess we have to go with the final question of like, what's your favorite MMO? What's your favorite survival game?
Oh wow.
You said it.
Wow. I know, I figured Buck was gonna say wow.
It was until this last expansion.
Yeah, this last expansion hurt it. I'll agree 100%. Usually you have a good expansion, bad expansion. This one was bad.
Yeah, this one took the cake on bad.
Do you think, here's a little side tangent here, do you think that since now they're being purchased by Microsoft, do you think that it'll get any better?
I don't think Microsoft has any pull in the regards of how that's going to go. Because they're going to worry about the business end of the deal, not really about exactly what the developers are pushing to make the world look the way it does.
Well, do you think Microsoft will be able to help them bring in new talent?
I mean, that Microsoft might be able to bring in more talent that they don't already have, but their problem is that they've
Money.
lost the talent that they had initially, and they won't get that back.
I agree. I think the biggest hurt to Blizzard, just lop off Activision. The biggest hurt for Blizzard was losing the founders.
Yep.
Because there's a difference in that company for when the founders left to now.
Yep.
Yeah, I figured
they might be able to shift up and get close, but they won't ever have what they had again.
So both of you on WoW?
For MMO, I am.
For
I don't know.
MMO?
I really like 14.
Mhm.
I think it does some things better than WoW. I don't know. I played WoW for a long time. Like WoW is kind of the granddaddy of MMOs, right? It came through, kicked EverQuest out of its chair, and it's just stayed there the entire up until now. It is stayed in that spot, and now it's kind of it and 14 just kind of fight each other every day. Um, you know, I don't know. I'm going to say WoW because I've put more time into WoW.
Can't go wrong with WoW.
But I mean, it's a real toss up between WoW and 14 because I'll be honest with you, I really enjoyed 14 a lot.
Yeah, for me, I would take WoW over 14. But it's not my favorite. My favorite is Dungeons and Dragons Online, which is built off Pathfinder 3.5 rules, not the 5th edition that we play now. But I played that game longer than I played any other MMO.
Yeah.
I invested so much time into it. The reason I like it over the other ones, it's not really open world like the other ones are, where you can just roam about anywhere you want to. And I would almost say that Final Fantasy 14 isn't really open world either. It's more like the Final Fantasy 10 type of open world where there's linear paths that you can't like go climb up the mountain like you could in WoW. Because in WoW Classic, we climb over the mountain and jump off the other side so we can get to the harbor. So not really open
Biggest
world.
way to wetlands.
Yep.
But DDO is not open world either. But what I liked about it versus other MMOs is that every part of the game, it kind of makes you party up, right? It makes you play with other people. And you may not have friends online. So they put an in-game party finder where you could advertise, and it would put you into parties, and they had in-game voice chat, which was a rare thing at the time, and you would actually make friends in the game. When I feel like a lot of these other MMOs, it's like a single player game up into the point where you go to a dungeon and you have to have other people, and then you get put into these parties. And then a lot of times, you'll rush through it and then split up. And I don't think I've made any friends of Final Fantasy 14 at this point, or anything like that. And WoW, it was kind of the same, but at least WoW, you can never sync up like your objectives in Dungeons and Dragons Online. You were going to do this quest, and everybody who came to do the quest, that's the quest, because it was only a dungeon game, so you were only doing dungeons. So,
Right. There's dungeons and then the hub that connected the dungeons, if I remember right.
That's how I wish more MMOs were, is that it forced you to party together so that, to complete the game. And I think there are MMOs that do that. I've read that. I never played it, but Guild Wars did that or does that.
I mean, 14 doesn't on forcing you to beat the game.
Well, yeah, and actually in the little fights and stuff like that. But
in that,
like 90% of that game, it feels like it's single player.
Right, but for the main stories quests, like you have to complete alliance raids, and you have to complete trials and stuff like that. It forces you to have to fight with anywhere from
you've got to party up
23 other people.
Yeah, which is crazy.
But it just, you have to have it to get through the game, but 90% of it you're playing by yourself until you get to that part.
And of course, I'm probably in the minority here, because Final Fantasy 14 and WoW are the two most popular MMOs. DDO is still going. They still release updates. They still release content updates and stuff like that. I think they're on like maybe 34 or 36 or something like that. I can't remember. They keep releasing new modules and stuff. But definitely not as popular as those games. Like you can Google top MMOs and it doesn't hit the top probably 25 list. It might hit the top 50, maybe somewhere in there.
What about survival games though?
Survival. I really liked Valheim. I liked the combat in it. I liked the exploring a lot. I like how we got on a boat and just went out there and searched for sea monsters. That was really fun.
3 hour
Um,
tour just to get home.
that was really fun. And they've released the new wolf hunt thing, which is kind of interesting. Uh, I really like Valheim. I'd say my favorite is Minecraft though. Um, it's my therapeutic game. It's the game I go back to when I just want to sit and do a monotonous task over and over and over and kind of not have to think about it. But I do like Ark. I really like Dark and Light. I wish they would have finished it. I played Dark and Light when it was in the first beta. They've released this game twice.
Yeah.
It was a French made game. First go around, I got into the beta and it was going to be an open world sandbox. And then I don't know what happened. It just kind of collapsed, and then they released it again. I guess the people who make Ark, I don't know the company name. The
Wild Card makes art.
yeah, I guess they picked it up or bought the rights to it and tried to release it, but I don't know. Maybe Ark took off, and they were like, well, we don't need Dark and Light because it's just a medieval, style of art basically.
I mean, they pretty much added mods to art to let you play Dark and Light.
So then they didn't need it anymore. I thought that
Yeah.
would have been cool if they'd have released it, but I'd say Minecraft and Valheim are probably at the top of my list right now.
What about you, Clay?
Survival games.
Mm-hmm.
My absolute favorite one, like I said, is RimWorld. Uh, number two would be definitely be Valheim. There's something in that game that just clicked. I don't know what it was, but I didn't even do the building. You and Diz took care of the building and stuff, but it was always something. And the best part was it with me is it always told you, hey, you're working on this next, gotta do this next, or just straight out like you said. That night we got on the boat, we went all around the world, just seeing what we could see. And that one time I got on the boat by myself and got killed in the desert. I was like, hey, I found a desert, and then here came these goblins, and I was dead.
Yep, that happened.
And then I had to figure out I had to build another boat and get stuff, make stuff to go and get my body to get my real stuff back. And it sucked because you got killed, but it was fun when we all had fun playing the game together.
I have a survival game that hasn't even been brought up that I enjoy playing. That it's a single player game, so that's why I didn't really bring it up. But Subnautica is one of my more favorite survival
I
games.
have played Subnautica. Yeah,
because
that's a good one.
You're on a spaceship and you crash on this planet, and you find out you actually got shot down onto this planet by alien tech, but you're stuck in the ocean the entire time. I get to make scuba gear. I get to make a submarine. I get to make all this stuff. And
I heard the expansion was even better.
Yeah. Expansion is. But, I get to be in the ocean where I feel like I would live if I had gills. Because
that's true. You are Aquaman.
Because I do enjoy that. When it comes to multiplayer, though, I would say Ark beats Valheim. Because I can do more in Ark. Yeah. I have more means to get around in Ark. The building aspect, they're on par with each other. I'd say 7 days as far as major survivability. I'd say 7 days is tied with Valheim.
Now, speaking of 7 days, I did want to ask you this: have you tried like DayZ? Or do you know what the difference between the two of them are?
I've seen it played, but I have not jumped into DayZ because um, it's if I'm going to play a zombie game, there's no reason to learn a new one. Is pretty much what that boils down to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So poor
Now
me.
here's a here yeah. Now here's a question. Well, it's not really a question, but speaking of MMOs, we've talked a lot about them. We haven't talked about the newest one that everybody's been playing, or a lot of people have been playing, and tomorrow goes free to play. Not sponsored, by the way. Is Lost Ark, and it's different than other MMOs that I've played. It's not first person or third person. It's Diablo style, over the head isometric kind of view, mouse movement and stuff like that. We've all played it at least a few hours. Um, what's your, real quick here at the end, what's your takes so far on that game?
I like the feel of the combat. But once I've learned the combos for the paladin, I like that. I probably if I learned the combos for the other classes, even like the bard, I didn't like it at first. If I learned those, I probably would enjoy that.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's definitely not your classic MMO. There's no healer. There's no true healer. You're responsible for your own healing, pretty much. Now there is some healing, there is some crowd control stuff that goes on, but I think it's dialed way back for this game.
Let's say you, bud.
Well, for one, you can turn it into almost a third person because you can scroll it on the mouse wheel and
Yeah, I did.
it'll zoom in. It'll severely hamper your ability to play, but the options there. And to me, it just seems more like it feels more like Final Fantasy and Diablo had a baby.
I can see that.
And I just I guess I haven't got fully invested into the story that they're doing. Haven't fully got invested in the way the world's lined out, or there's something that I'm playing it to see if give it a good honest run. But I mean, I'd rather play Diablo 2 Resurrected
Yep.
than play this if I have a choice. So I'm hoping it gets better, but right now it's not exactly where I'd want it to be.
It takes away my adventuring. Like I really like to go into an MMO and explore, and see what I can find. And there's none of that in this game. You can break some objects. That's about the extent of exploring. Sometimes you can find a hidden fruit on the ground or something that you're collecting. And I don't know if it opens up at some point, but I feel like it's gonna railroad me through the game. Like it's just gonna be, here's your next task, here's your next task, do this now. Here's some side quests you can do, but here's your next thing. Just keep going, go. Which feels very much like just like a single player game to me. Which is fine. I mean, because it is fun for me to smack things with a sword and they explode into blood and guts and stuff. I enjoy that.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't found anything that would require me to party up with anybody. Like I was telling
That's
Clance,
true.
I
Yeah.
ran dungeons on the hardest difficulty and blew through them by myself and never
And it
once
gives you
died.
like throws healing potions. Too. Like it, you never have to buy one because I have like 400 healing potions right now.
I have about 300 healing potions of 4 different types of healing potions. So almost 1,200 healing potions in 4 varieties of levels.
The challenge just isn't there, really.
Yeah.
It's not challenging. All they'd have to do is pull that healing back a little bit, maybe amp up the damage just a little bit. It might force you to party up. At least that would be something.
Now, there is a
What-
zone I got to that there's a level 17 guy. He has 23 health bars.
I've heard about this guy.
You aren't fighting him by yourself.
Yeah, it's one of the world bosses, isn't he?
Yes. And so you're not fighting him by yourself. But so far, that's the only thing I've seen that you need to party up on. And you don't even have to party up there. You just have to have enough people fighting him to put him down.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to be in a group together. It's just like in WoW when there's a world boss there and, a whole 30 people show up, kill the thing, and then they dissipate and not a single person was in a party together.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think
Clint?
me, I played, the early access and I played beta and stuff. I actually like it better now than I did in the beta. So far I'm having fun with it. I mean, it's like I'm playing Diablo kind of. And I think a lot of the multiplayer stuff happens once you hit level 50. Once you can do your raids and things like that. I think and in your guild, you can do guild versus guild and guild versus environment tasks. So you get bonuses if you have your guild members with you when you're doing stuff. I did learn about that today. So right now I'm playing Sorceress. Like I said, I'm having fun with it. The story is kind of crazy. There's not a whole lot to it right now. But I'm hoping it expands more. Once I get through there, like I think right now the big level to get to at this point would be like in about 30. Which will unlock a bunch of new stuff. So, I'm going to give it till 50 and see what happens. And if I like it, it's a free game. I paid for the early access, so I would be out that. But I mean, that's what you get. You roll the dice, right? But I mean, so far I'm liking it. I can see it being a game that I can play and then come back to and stuff from time to time. Definitely. So we'll see. Like I said, it's really going to see. Right now it's been all early access people playing, and the game's got queue times. Tomorrow at noon Eastern time, it's when free to play starts, and we'll see what happens when the game really starts.
I haven't had a queue time since the very first day. Now tomorrow I expect to have queue time.
Sure. Yeah, I expect that tomorrow as well.
In all honesty, this is the part that pisses me off about these type of games. With WoW, when a server fills up, they lock it down. Like we've met max capacity at some point. There's people that are there. They have characters there. It doesn't matter if they've played it in 30 days, but that character's there. They locked it down. You can't just keep filtering more and more people into the server. But like with this game, and just like with New World, well, when these 15 people log off, 15 brand new people literally just made a profile and they logged in. Well, now you're saying that the 15 people that have been playing and put their time in is less valuable than the 15 new people that literally just got the game. Because now they can't join the server with their friends that they were because you have them locked out because you let more people join than the server can hold.
It's aggravating. Not the first time I've experienced it in MMO.
Oh, I mean, it's getting progressively worse with new games completely. They just keep packing until eventually the server breaks.
Yeah, I think with a lot of games, the the makers don't really want to put the money behind them until they can see that they are going to make a profit. They're not going to fail within 90 days. So they don't want to invest in that initial infrastructure. But it's a self-defeating prophecy when you do that, because when people can't log in after so long, they're going to give up and they're not going to play your game.
Yep.
So you have to have that infrastructure at the beginning, or you have to be able to ramp up that infrastructure in the beginning. Now, Lost Ark and New World should be able to do that. I mean, New World has much more problems.
Right.
But I mean, Lost Ark should be able to do that because they're Amazon. They've got the AWS cloud behind them, so they should be able to roll out servers fairly quick. But we'll see. We'll see what kind of load. I mean,
And see, that's my problem, right? Amazon's backing, right?
yeah,
This is all Amazon back.
yep.
Their founder packs, all of their founder packs, made it in the top 5 bestseller list prior to pre-order or prior to launch. All 5 made it in. If you know that many people have pre-ordered your game, you should already start firing off servers.
I agree 100%. Yeah, you should be able to tell by your pre-order what kind of, what you're looking at the beginning, what kind of user load you're going to have. I would say take your pre-order number and
Multiply by at least 4 if it's free to play.
oh yeah, I mean this game's free to play tomorrow. Everybody's, I mean, you can preload it right now.
Yep.
You can go on Steam and preload the game right now and play it tomorrow at noon when it comes out free to play. But I mean, it's free to play. It's Genshin. There's no there's no boundary, there's no border, there's no wall preventing you from playing the game. It's literally, I want to play the game. The only thing that's keeping you from playing it is downloading it, and then you can start. So I'm expecting a hell of a turnout, to be honest with you.
Yeah, definitely.
I
All
guess
right,
that
I
means
guess to
better
wrap
log
this,
on tonight and stay logged in
just keep it
all day
logged in.
tomorrow.
So, last question: are there any MMOs or survival games coming out this year that you are looking forward to playing or trying out?
I mean, Lost Ark was my MMO for 2022 that I knew about, that I wanted to try out.
So I'm gonna
As
throw out
far as
one we've been looking at for a while. It was, let's see, lost the name of it here. I always get the name wrong. Ashes of Creation.
oh yeah, yeah,
I'm interested if that finally comes out this year. What it kind of looks like. It looks more like the open world where you can just kind of go anywhere and do pretty much anything. It kind of gives me the feel of my first MMO with Shadowbane, because you have to kind of group up with people and form the guilds and kind of build stuff and stuff. So see how that turns out. And there's some type of like League of Legends MMO
yeah. They're
coming
working
out.
on it. Yeah,
So
I don't know if it's coming out this year or not, but I do know they're working on it.
I wish the guilds would be more like what the Neverwinter game is, the newer one. Because in order to get certain items, you had to go to your guild hall and you had to fight dragons. You had to fight horde of things that were trying to destroy your guild hall, and you got resources for it. But like in WoW, we've got a guild. That's cool. We do things individually, we get credit for it. We do things as a group, we still get credit for it. But we have no reason to come together.
Yeah,
I joined a guild. That's fine. I've got the name, but I never meet the entire group to do anything.
no, that's my
And
problem with a lot of these games. It feels like it doesn't force you to group up. Like it's a single player game. I wish it did. I wish
yeah.
it was an actual multiplayer game. It might as well just be a massive online game. It's an MO.
yeah, I mean, I want. I'm looking forward to Art 2 and Diablo 4. Like those are the two that I'm waiting on whenever they decide to launch them.
Yeah, and I know Diablo 4 is going to have like MMO like
Yeah.
modes in it that you're going to be able to do. So I'm like I'm looking forward to Diablo 4. I know Diablo 3 wasn't everybody's cup of tea. Everybody still. I think everybody likes Diablo 2 better than Diablo 3.
Which is why they
I think
did a resurrected version. Of it.
exactly, which I think is the general consensus is Diablo 2 is better than Diablo 3. If only they could have got Warcraft 3 remastered right. But it's survival games. Yeah, I'm like, but probably Ark 2, just because I'm interested to see what Vin Diesel's doing, because not only is he in it, but he is part of the staff.
I'm interested in this too, because unless Buck is alpha testing it or something, or pre-alpha testing it, we might be able to get in at the same time and have a similar knowledge base.
And I think that is, not to go back to it, but I think that was one of the things that really I liked about Valheim the most, is we were all learning about it at the same time.
Yeah, it was always like this discovery, and it was just like, oh crap, what is this?
Yeah, you log in
There's
like,
always
hey
those
guys, guess
moments.
what? While you were gone, I learned how to do this. Like, cool. And then then we would log out. And the next day we would log in. Somebody, one of us three, but hey, look, I found out how to do this. Or then we'd log out and log back in, and hey, Buck would be like, hey guys, guess what? I learned how to make the Megazord.
Y'all logged in, and I'm like, hey, you need to come into this building, open up these 3 chests, and grab everything in it, and then put it all back in the chest. And y'all like, why? And then all of a sudden, your whole right side of your screen just started filling with new resources that you
It's
could
like,
do.
oh shit, we've got bronze.
Bronze Age reach.
Yep.
All right,
Yep.
all right. So we ran a little bit long here, so I guess we'll call it for this evening, and see you whippersnappers next time, I guess. When Clan Diesel has his famous one-liner, which is
Win retro.
I'll put you on the spot to see if you could deliver.
Dang.
You failed. You
You're
failed.
supposed to tell him to get off our
I
lawn.
know. I just wanted to throw that out there just to see what Diz would do.
Dang.
Oh yeah.
You're
So
right.
guys, if you
Diz,
like
I'm
retro,
kicking him off the porch.
yeah, it's fine. He could be exiled from the porch for
Push
but
him off the porch.
Yeah,
if we had a
you're right.
button
I'm
to do that
supposed
before.
to say, "Hey, you kids, get off my lawn!" I'm sorry,
So,
our lawn.
we'll see you guys next Thursday. We have retro. Me and Clan, we do retro games. You can watch us play old games on Monday nights. We do it every Monday.
2 old men playing old games.
And most Saturdays in the month, we're either playing my D&D game or we're playing Sly's D&D game that we stream. We have another D&D game we play, but we don't stream it, so it's real
That's
hush-hush.
true. And hey, if you're like, I would interested in old games, I would like to watch that. Or hey, I like D&D. Have you got past episodes of your D&D campaigns up? Well, do I have a deal for you? If you are in my chat, because I don't know if Diz has the command set up in his chat or not, but if you're in my chat and you do !NerdTube, you'll go to that handy dandy URL right there. You can check out past streams of Super Retro Game Show Extreme, our multiple 14 ongoing D&D campaigns. We're going for a record, chat, and possibly episode 1 of 3 old men yelling at clown.
And our most popular video to date. It's, what is it, 3 a.m.?
4 a.m. movie review.
4 a.m. movie review with Clan Diesel.
That's right.
Still our most popular video.
Stupendous.
Keep
One
the
day
dream alive.
I'm going to do
Go
more of
click
it.
on the video.
That's right.
Also,
That's right.
follow all of us on Twitch. If you would just go out there to YouTube, even if you don't watch a video, just click that subscribe button. It helps us boost our numbers up out there. We're really not trying to make any money out there. We just want people to be able to view our content. So,
we need the algorithm to show more people our stuff because we enjoy entertaining you.
Yes.
But if you would, before you leave, be sure you go and drop a follow on twitch.tv/DrDizDM. And do you have your Twitch page set up, Buck? Can people go follow you right now?
They can follow me. I just haven't started streaming yet, other than with you guys.
All right, Buck. If you want to give that handy dandy URL, the people can go and follow you right this second.
Well,
Be ready for his first stream.
but I can't. I'm not exactly sure where I find it, what I've typed in. It's fine.
Kind of. I'm gonna watch a bunch of videos about Arc 2 now. I didn't realize that was a thing until tonight. So.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, be sure to go, like I said, follow Dr. DizDM on Twitch and YouTube and Twitter. Follow
Let's
me
get my
at Clan Diesel.
underscore.
Yeah, it's still got the old thing. Sorry.
Yeah.
Twitch.tv/Dr. DizDM, all one word. I've got to update my commands. I'm sorry, chat. I have failed this city. Go to twitch.tv/ is it double up Buck?
It should be.
Okay, double up Buck. Double OO Buck with 2 Ks.
And the O's are actually zeros, right?
That's right.
Actually,
00
zeros.
Buck.
Oh, there it is. There's the pop up.
Also on Twitter and everything else. And then
Oh, you
myself,
got it.
Clan Diesel, everywhere. Twitch, Twitter, Facebook. I'm Clan Diesel Streams because somebody took Clan Diesel and they're an evil softball dad. And I don't like it. But yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see you guys next Thursday.
I'm gonna, if you're on my stream, I'm gonna raid Malnox. He is a member of our D&D campaign. He's a good friend of ours, and right now he is online playing Lost Ark. And I would stream Lost Ark, but it's late and I won't. But maybe tomorrow I will. So right now, you can go check out Malnox here shortly. But I guess that's it. You guys got anything else?
Nope.
No,
Nope. We'll
not
see you
for
guys next Thursday. Until then, stay off our lawn.
Thanks, right?
Clan says it better. See ya.